Today we're going to be learning about the properties of logarithms. All I mean by that is that there's basically three basic rules that allow you to either expand or condense complex logarithmic expressions. I would highly recommend pausing the video now and go ahead and write down these rules before I start to explain them. Alright, welcome back. So the idea is if I'm multiplying two numbers with the same base log, that becomes addition. With still the same base and just add those two. If I'm dividing two numbers with the same base log, that becomes subtraction. And if I'm taking a power within a log, I can pull that power out front to just multiply by the entire log. Let's actually apply this so that you understand what I'm saying a little more. So if I have the log of A times B times C, that just applies the first rule. That becomes log of A plus log of B plus log of C. And that's it. For the next one, if I have log of A times B divided by X, that just becomes log of A times B, because this is division, minus the log of the bottom, X. Now, you could try to apply a bunch of rules at the same time, but you're going to wind up messing something up 9 times out of 10 if you're doing that, because there can be a lot going on. Just apply one rule at a time. Now this is again multiplication, so that expands out. Log A plus log B minus log X. And as a reminder, if there's no base listed, that's base 10. And here I messed up because I should list that is base 8 that I'm dealing with the whole time. Next one. I have log base 5 of the cube root of x. Now a cube root is the same thing as what exponent? X to the 1/3. And now I go ahead and apply my last log rule. So I can just pull the 1/3 out front. So that becomes 1/3 log base 5 of x. I want you to go ahead and pause this video and try to solve out this next problem. If you want to pause the video with the log rules, there you go. Alright, welcome back for the next problem. Again, I'm just applying my log rules. I first noticed that I have some division, so I'm going to go ahead and change that to subtraction. So that becomes log of the square root of x minus log of y. Now I'm not quite done yet because that square root, I can turn them into an exponent. So that becomes log of x to the half minus log of y. And now I can pull the 1/2 out front. 1/2 log of x minus log of y. And now I've expanded it as much as I can. How do I know that I've expanded as much as I can? If I just got one number or one variable inside the log and that's it, then it's fully expanded out. If you're wanting to take a picture for notes before I move on to the next page, go ahead. Alright, next page. Now we can get a little bit more complicated, but with problems like these, what you first want to do is sort of simplify within the log first, because I got a lot going on here. I got exponents and all that going on. Let's simplify that a little first. So remember, power on the outside basically distributes to each number in the center. So that becomes log base 6 of a to the 3rd power, b to the 6th power, over 8. Because remember, this means I have ab squared over 2 being multiplied by itself 3 times. That's where that comes from. I wind up with 8 on the bottom, 6b's on top, 3a's on top. Now, Let me zoom in a little bit here. I can start to simplify this guy a little more. So we've got that becomes, we've got multiplication, division, everything going on. I'm going to go ahead and consistently try to simplify division first if I can. So that becomes log base 6 of a to the third b to the 6th minus log base 6 of 8. Now I don't need to touch that log base 6 of 8 anymore. He's done. But I can continue to expand these guys out. So that's multiplication. We're going to simplify next. So that becomes log base 6 of a to the third plus log base 6 of b to the 6th minus log base 6 of 8. Now again, I'm not quite done. I can expand out that exponent. Bring the exponent out front. That becomes log base 6, 3 log base 6 of a plus 6 log base 6 of b minus log base 6 of 8. And now I am done because I just have one number with each log. Alright, go ahead and pause the video. I want you to try this next one on your own. Hello and welcome back. We're going to go ahead and first simplify by distributing out that exponent basically, because remember we have a x to the third power square root of y times an x to the third square root of y really when I got that squared. So then I have log base 5 of x to the 6th power y, because remember a square root times itself basically makes it go away, or if you want to think of it another way, I got a y to the 1/2 times a y to the 1/2. 1/2 plus a half equals 1. Now that I've simplified this part, I can start to apply my log rules. So first I'm going to apply multiplication. So I have log base 5 of x to the 6th plus log base 5 of y. I'm almost done. I can go ahead and expand out that exponent by bringing him out front. 6 log base 5 of x plus log base 5 of y. And now I'm done because I got just one number under there. Oh, before I move on, if you need to take a picture of this, go ahead and do so. Take a picture for your notes. Okay. Moving on. Now I can ask you to move the other way around. So if I give you this, I can ask you to write this. So a number out front, well, that just becomes an exponent. That becomes natural log of x to the 4th. Boom, I'm done. Now I'm trying to write this as one log, if at all possible. For this next one, don't let that freak you out either. Apply it one at a time. I'm going to pretty much consistently start with the last rule whenever I'm working backwards, just because that'll make my life easier in terms of just saying multiplication, division, etc., without having to worry about too much else. So a 2 out front, well, that just becomes an exponent, log x squared, plus log y. We can't really simplify him much yet, just leave him as is, minus a 1/2, again, bits brought inside. They get brought inside, so that becomes log z to the 1/2. Now when I got addition, what does that become? Multiplication. So that becomes log x squared y minus, and don't forget, a power to the half, that's the same thing as square root, which is what you will typically see. So I'll go and change it to square root of z. Now I've got subtraction. What does that become? Division. Log x squared y over the square root of z. And now I'm done because I have just one term and a log. So that's condensing. I want you to go ahead and try the last one on your own. Pause the video and try this guy. Alright, welcome back. Alright, we're going to go ahead and work with this guy. Now again, I want to get rid of these numbers out front and bring them inside first. So that becomes log a to the 5th minus log b to the 1/3 plus log c. So let's go ahead and just start working left to right. When we got subtraction, what does that become? Division. So I have log a to the 5th divided by b to the 1/3. That's the same thing as a cube root, which is what I'm going to go ahead and write, plus log c. When I got addition, what does that become? Multiplication. So then I have log a to the 5th c over cube root of b, and I'm done. So all this is asking you to do is mathematically logic through 3 log rules in order to either expand or condense expressions. If you're wanting to take a picture of this for your notes, go ahead. All right, you can reach out to me if you have any questions. Good luck.